2026 is shaping up to be a massive year for running shoes, with brands pushing innovation, experimenting with new foams and refining designs to help runners go faster, farther with less fatigue. Today, after watching an unhealthy amount of the running event coverage over the weekend, I wanted to round up 4 standout shoes for me that I think look really exciting and should be worth the investment. So let's dive into the 2026 releases and see what's coming soon. Now, from what I've seen, there's actually a few brands that haven't really showcased too much of their lineup. Whether they're keeping their cards close to their chest or not, I'm not too sure. Nike, Adidas, Puma, I watched a video of theirs that's currently been taken down, so whether that shouldn't have gone out or not, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Asics as well, I noticed not too much from them, but there are plenty of other brands there offering their lineups for next year, which is super exciting, and there were 4 standouts for me that I really want to dive into today. And of course, if you've also watched an unhealthy amount of the running event content over the weekend, do let me know what shoes you're looking forward to next year. What updates have really caught your eye? Do drop a comment and let me know down below. So let's get stuck into my 4. So the first one is the Saucony Azura. So is this too little too late from Saucony, or are they about to revive themselves? Now for me, if you're someone like me who tested out the Speed 1 and 2 and loved the Pro 1 and 2 and that era, Saucony were really on the rise. The Elite 1 was fantastic and I was absolutely all over them. Brilliant brand, I think brand of the year for me at that point. Things sadly for me went downhill with the Speed 3, 4, 5. Things just started to peter out of it. The Pro 3 I think was their peak. The Pro 4 just was not as good, and I'm definitely not interested in the Pro 5, having watched a couple of videos and really hearing that not too much has changed with that one. I can't see that being any different. However, I do think this Azura could be moving in the right direction. It's kind of filling that space that we've seen the Evo SL create last year. That kind of shoe that almost feels like a super trainer without a plate or any rods or anything in there, and it's just full, almost max stack height racing shoe caliber foam. We've got 40mm in the heel, 32 in the forefoot. This is meant to be, and shaping up to be, a kind of contender for the Evo SL, but as I said, is it too little too late? Now this is one I have actually seen a couple of reviews about, so obviously if we imagine people standing at the stands talking to the reps, they're not going to look at a shoe and go, yeah, this looks a bit mate, sorry, I'm not really keen on this one. They're going to be polite and be excited and that sort of thing. But I think seeing some early reviews of it as well, where actual reviewers are saying, do you know what? I know they've been sent the shoe by Saucony, but this actually could be the real deal. This could replace the Speed. Where does the Speed stand in terms of this? We're just getting a little bit more stack height here. This could be the answer. As I said, is it too little too late though? We've seen the Evo SL come on huge discount this year. People have been picking up that shoe for a ridiculous price. It's already at a low 130 and people have been picking it up for less than 100. So with this one still pitching in at a really reasonable, I think it was going to be in and around £140, so it's certainly not breaking the bank. This really is pitching at the right place, but as I said, have Adidas stolen a march of them? Time will tell, but this one really has caught my eye. The next one I'm super excited for is the Hoka Mach 7. This one is really exciting me. Why? Because they're not changing a lot, and for me that is music to my ears. How infuriating is it when a brand produces a really good shoe, then they just take it in a completely different direction. You get really excited for the update and it really disappoints you. It's fair enough when they need to do that if it's getting a bit stale and it needs a bit of a revamp. I fully understand, especially if the model line isn't selling very well and it's just not keeping up with standards. But the Mach 6, let's be honest, it's probably Hoka's best shoe last year or the year before, whenever it was released. I think it's missed a year since an update actually, I can't remember. But either way, I'm excited to hear that not much has changed. In fact, it's got lighter with the same midsole compound, a lighter grip on the bottom, so I think it's less grip but a bit tackier apparently. A different upper, midsole has stayed the same, and as I said, that is music to my ears. Hoka's midsoles used to infuriate me with how flat they went so quickly. The Mach 6 was just completely different. It bucked that trend. I got 400 miles out of my Mach 6. Absolutely brilliant. And again, I think the shoe cost me £130, so if we're going to stay in and around that same price bracket, I think I remember rightly from watching one of the reviews, they said it might have gone up $5, so that might go up £5 for us in the UK, but ultimately it's still going to be a really affordable shoe. The midsole still stay the same, should be super comfortable, nice and lightweight. We could be on for a winner. And before we get into the last one, which is Puma, you best believe they're in there, I want to just highlight the Saucony Ride 19. So this is another one that's caught my eye. The Ride lineup has been one of my favorites for a very long period of time. I've tested a variety of previous versions. Sometimes for me, simple is better. I'm not interested in a shoe that's got all the bells and whistles. I sometimes just like a really lightweight, nimble daily trainer, and that's what the Ride has always offered me. I think the last Ride I tested was the 17 and it was absolutely fantastic. Lightweight, really basic stuff from Saucony, but it really did a good job. I missed the 18, and again I got a bit of a regret of that one because a lot of you guys said, Andy, the 18 is flying under the radar for so many people. I know you like the 17. This is a fantastic update. You've got to try it. The 19 looks to be another solid update, again without changing too much. We've gone even lighter once more. They've put a bit more midsole foam in there, which has that slightly beaded midsole feeling, a little bit like how I used to feel with Boost and a little bit like I'm testing in the Leanings. That's how the Power Run Plus used to feel for me, so I don't know how it's going to feel in the 19, but that one really excites me too. Again, the more offerings we can get of these slightly lighter weight daily trainers, not these big chunky things, but something lightweight, something nimble, something a bit poppy for an affordable price, I'm all for. And the Ride is another one, so really excited for that. And I will just say there are plenty of other Saucony shoes that look to be making a bit of a comeback next year. They do look exciting. I'm hoping that they can revive themselves a bit. Now let's finish off with the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 4. I finally saw confirmed images, so I shared it in my previous video. A few of you highlighted the fact that I think that was just the Deviate Nitro 4, not the Elite, which is fair enough. I believed it was the Elite. I have now seen images from the running event of the new Nitro Elite 4. It looks exciting. However, it was Believer in the Run's video that I watched, and it has since been made private, so it's been taken down. So whether there was an embargo thing there going on, I'm not sure. Watching the video, what they were saying was we're looking at a bit of a teaser launch, or not a launch itself, but like a teaser, early January. I think it was around the 9th, 10th, 11th-ish, somewhere around that date, where they're going to be sharing more information on this shoe. About 3 weeks later, they were talking about a limited drop, and then in February, they were talking about a main release for this shoe. So we're not going to have to wait long for this, which is super exciting. And the one thing that got me really excited is that they have shaved the weight on this shoe down to the same weight as the Fast Art Nitro Elite 3, which is going to be phenomenal. We've seen super shoes evolve now, so we're almost getting into realms of that hyper shoe weight, where we're seeing these super lightweight like the Adidas Pro Evo 2 and the Asics Metaspeed Ray. These shoes that are really pushing the boat with the lightweight shoes. The Puma Fast Art, not quite there, but very, very close. And now the Deviate Nitro Elite 4 going to be in that realm too. Again, it sounds lighter, springier, bouncier. Hopefully, we're going to get not too much tinkering, because again, as I said, the 3 was absolutely phenomenal. One of the best shoes I've ever tested. As long as they haven't tinkered too much, and they've hopefully sorted that heel issue where it doesn't rub. A lot of you didn't suffer with it. I know a lot of you did. I was one of those people. Staying in that shoe for a long period of time just meant I got a bit too much heel rub in it. It wasn't great. However, I could do short distances in it, and quite honestly, if this one does the job, then this could be shoe of the year straight away. So I'm very excited for that one. Now, as I said, we're yet to see too much from Asics, from Puma, really, now the video's been taken down. From Nike and Adidas, there are plenty of other brands out there that are yet to share too much into this year. So as I said, maybe they're holding their cards close to their chest. I'm not too sure at the moment, but ultimately there do look to be some really good shoes coming out early to mid to end of next year, whenever they might drop. I am looking forward to the ones that I've highlighted today. Now, if you've seen any that you're really excited about, please do drop a comment below. It'd be great to hear. There's plenty of videos out there covering it, and there do look to be some great shoes. The other one actually that caught my eye was a Topo, however you say it, Spectre 3. That one looks a really good shoe. Again, a lot of you have recommended that brand to me. A lot of you have recommended that model lineup, and the 3 looks to be an exciting update too. That was another one that I thought about talking about in this list, but as I've never fully tested a previous version, I thought I can't really add it to something that I'm too excited about, but it is one that I'm keeping my eye on. So if you've got any others, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this one, guys, I'll make sure I leave a link on screen right here for the most used daily trainers of the year this year. Some of my favorites, I'll drop them in this video here, and hopefully I'll see you over there.